The U.S. Supreme Court, in an 8-1 decision, struck down Florida's capital sentencing system today. They're saying that the state gives way too much power to judges and not enough to juries. Now, this is to impose the death penalty for those found guilty of capital crimes. Their decision was based on the case of Timothy Lee Hurst. He was convicted of murder in 1998 in Florida. In his case, a jury voted 7-5 in favor of death, and the judge imposed a decision based in part on her, quote, own independent reasoning. That was the problem. The decision reached by the Supreme Court, it could actually trigger new sentencing appeals from 390 inmates on Florida's death row, a number second only to the state of California. So in all those cases where a judge had independent reasoning, the court's saying, look, that's out of line.
Exactly, and I think they are right. This is something that has been in place for a while now and allows a judge that might be biased to decide on capital punishment and send people to death row when it's your right as a citizen to have that decision made by the juries. And I think that this decision and this rebuttal of the previous way, it's a victory for criminal reform.
Right. Well, Justice Sonia Sotomayor actually delivered the opinion of the court. This is what she had to say. She said the Sixth Amendment requires a jury, not a judge, to find each fact necessary to impose a sentence of death. A jury's mere recommendation is not enough. So these judges that are politically motivated in some cases, this court is trying to take those judges out of the equation when something as serious as a death penalty case is reached by jurors, which is where it should be in theory.
And that's the whole point, right? To be judged by a group of your peers instead of having a judge saying, even if you're in Florida, even if no matter what state.
I love Floridians.
But I think that you bring a point that it should be something that should be at the federal level. Mm-hmm. Now we got in a whole different debate of the state and the federal laws. But I do believe that this is proof that some states have in place sentencing guides that allows for a single rogue judge to make decisions on people's life that are not in their hands. These are decisions that are to be made by juries.
Exactly. So Florida jurors, and they are more than capable of doing so. They're officially presiding over cases. They should be able to say, this is the sentence that we think should be imposed. That's what the Sixth Amendment has to say about this. And this case that they were looking at of Timothy Lee Hurst, he was convicted of killing his manager of a Popeye's chicken in Pensacola. And this case, they actually threw it back to the Florida Supreme Court, and they said that court is going to determine if any error was made in his case. But as far as judges are concerned, they have to abide by the Constitution and honor the jury's request in sentencing.